There are three things that will ensure that you will be successful in life no matter what: failure, suffering, and the indomitable human spirit. Like Rocky Balboa once said, it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. That is how winning is done. But we can get discouraged after continuing to fail for so long, trying to overcome our problems but never really seeming to be able to. Eventually we might even lose faith in ourselves. But sometimes we get so caught up in looking at how far we still have to go rather than focusing on how far we've already come. I think we naturally tend to laser focus on all of our shortcomings and our weaknesses. It's easy to see all the ways that we're not good enough or that we could be better. But it takes some conscious effort to realize all the ways in which we are already strong. We have to actively shift our focus to pay attention to the ways in which we are already good enough. Here lies the problem with self-improvement. Self-improvement always gets you to focus on how you could be better. Its very essence is to get you to not accept yourself so that you will change. But this is a game that never ends. You will always be improving until the day you die. And for the mind, it still won't be good enough. Sometimes we feel that we don't even have the strength or desire to improve. Then we beat ourselves up even more for not being good enough. But the problem lies in our own judgment of ourselves, not the fact that we could be doing better. Until you can come into the full acceptance of the present moment as it is, you will always be in resistance to life. When you are in resistance, you cut yourself off from the flow of life and fall out of harmony. This is what creates real pain, real suffering, real struggle. Think about it. No matter what is happening in your life, you can never be other than where you are right now. So wanting to be other than where you are is futile. You can never be other than who you are right now at this moment. So wanting yourself to be different serves no purpose. Sure, over a long time horizon, we can put into action certain behaviors and habits to improve ourselves and become the person we want to be. But right here, right now, you cannot be any different. The only conclusion is to surrender and accept life as it is at any given moment. To love yourself fully in spite of your flaws. When you shift your mind to this perspective, you realize that you do not even need to believe in yourself. You see, we are not really living life, but life is living us. It's living through us. Life is the divine intelligence that's evolving the entire cosmos. Life is the force that beats your heart and digests your food. It's the same intelligence that turns a tiny seed into a great big tree. Life is already doing all of the work. Life is already taking care of itself. But the ego comes along and says, no, life, you are not doing a good enough job. I want things to be the way I want them to be. We say, I need to get my stuff together. I need to improve my life. I don't want to be like this anymore. These desires can be fine and can help motivate and guide us to living a more prosperous life. But you don't need to place the burden upon yourself. Life is better at its job, infinitely times greater than your ego mind could ever be. Our job, our role, is to get out of the way and let life do its job. We don't need faith or belief in ourselves, although this can be good. We only need to come to the realization that life, or you could call God, is already taking care of everything. The mind can create skyscrapers and nuclear bombs and AI supercomputers. The mind, however, cannot create 2 trillion galaxies with trillions and trillions of planets and stars. The only true way that we improve our life is by allowing life to flow freely through us, to stop resisting with our minds. The more we trust in the universe or God to provide, the more we become in harmony with the flow of life. Because this life is the force of order and harmony, the moment we implement it back into our life, it begins solving and working out all of our problems. because the problem was that we fell out of harmony by being cut off from our life. You begin to improve naturally without much effort on your own. By trying too hard, that is when we often make our problems worse. This approach is counterintuitive because we actually gain more by doing less. This doesn't mean laziness. This means surrendering to life. You remain in a state of full allowance. The greater life flows through you without resistance, the more harmonious your life becomes. The more you allow your mind to keep you in resistance, the more suffering and problems will arise. The key difference between how most people improve and how to really improve is our self-image. Most people improve because they don't like themselves and want to be someone different. But living this way involves a negative attitude and a negative mindset. Rather, you learn to completely love and accept yourself for who you are right now, no matter your flaws. Because the fact is that there is nothing outside of this present moment that we can do to be any different. We can either make the choice to go and take action, or surrender and accept reality as it is. So there is no point in suffering in the judgment of ourselves about how we should be doing this or that, how we could be doing better, because we could always be doing better. By letting go of these judgments of ourselves, we lessen the resistance from the mind. What I do to surrender these judgments more easily is first just simply realize that they are there. You can begin to realize that these negative judgments of yourself serve no purpose. And you kind of make the stance and say, no, I will not allow my attention to be focused in this direction. I will not give my energy to things that do not serve me. And over time, it becomes more and more easy to surrender these judgments as they arise. Sometimes they will grab and get your attention and your reactions. But the more aware you become of your thoughts, the easier it becomes to stop feeding the negativity. Every time you tell yourself that, oh, you failed, or you're not good enough, or you can't do it, simply understand that these are just made-up ideas in your mind that have no meaning. As the spiritual teacher Mooji once said, thoughts have no power, but we give thoughts our power through our identification and belief in them. Nobody said you had to believe your thoughts. Nobody said your thoughts were trustworthy or accurate. Observing your thoughts creates a sense of separation which allows you to remain in a more non-reactive state. When you practice the habit of non-reaction or observation, you stop feeding the thoughts as much and you become in much less resistance to the present moment. You can also establish the habit of returning to the breath every time you feel stress or resistance, and this will more easily bring you into the present moment. Doing deep breathing or strenuous exercise will almost always bring you into the moment. Our only purpose here is to stop the mind's resistance to the present moment, to allow the full flow of life through absolute surrender and acceptance of what is here and now. We don't need to believe in ourselves because we don't have to place the burdens of our problems upon who we believe we are, our ego or our mind. We only have to have faith and trust in life. And in order to have faith and trust in life, all you have to do is look around.